One morning, I woke up and I was about to make an omelette for breakfast. I got into the kitchen, got everything set, picked up 2 eggs from the egg tray, got my spaghetti from the fridge, and here I was, excitedly, with so much saliva in my mouth. My appetite was so wet. It's like I was beaten in my sleep that day because I woke up really hungry. So with all of that anxiety, that enthusiasm to actually make food and eat, I launched myself into the kitchen to make an omelette. Got my 2 eggs, everything ready, cracked up the first egg open, it was all good, cracked up the second one, and voila, it was rotten. A rotten egg. And I had already gotten every other thing ready. The egg was the last thing to get into the bowl before I start frying. And just like that, that was how my omelette became bad. It was no longer good for eating. Why? Because I had 1 fresh egg and 1 rotten egg mixed together in the same bowl. And going ahead to eat that, we already know that's a good recipe for stomach problems. That's a good recipe for running stomach or stomach upset or just whatever. So I sat down the other day and I was just thinking, and suddenly my mind took me back to that day I made that omelette with those 2 eggs, the one good and bad eggs, and how I could no longer go on. I had to change the whole bowl of omelette with 2 fresh eggs to be able to go on ahead and make out my omelette. So my mind flashed back to that day, and it brought me to this realization that our relationships are more like making an omelette, where if one person is so right and the other person is so wrong, no matter how we try to mix those 2 people together in a relationship, that relationship is bound to fail. Because one right person, one wrong person doesn't automatically make that relationship work. There has to be a total change of partner. Yes, that's the only thing that can actually permit your relationship work. One person has to undergo a complete changeover in character, mindset, and just about whatever they need to get changed in them for that relationship to work, for it to actually birth what it is supposed to birth. So that is just to tell you that the success of our relationships depends heavily on the 2 individuals at the bottom of that relationship. It is he and I that would determine how far that relationship can go, how well that relationship can work. It is the people that we have become. It is the mindsets that we bring into that relationship. It is the attitudes, the behaviors, the character, the willingness, the levels of commitment that we bring into that relationship that will tell us if that relationship will work in the long run or it will fail. What am I saying? The foundation of every relationship, the foundation of every bad relationship, the foundation of every good relationship is the individuals at the bottom of it. So when next you ask yourself the question, why do relationships fail a lot in this current dispensation? The real question you should be asking is, what is wrong with the 2 people at the foundation of relationships that makes it really hard for our relationships this day to last, to blossom into marriage, and to blossom into a marriage that is exemplary and that actually lasts? Because as we see around, the rate of divorce is right up there. We get into relationships today, the next day we are breaking up. Things just aren't the way they used to be anymore. So before you get into a relationship, I want you to understand that that relationship will fail or work depending on who you are and who your partner is, your level of growth as individuals. That is where the success of your relationship all begins. That is why I would always advise people, young people like myself, work on yourself if you want your relationship to work. Relationships don't just work, and relationships don't just fail. People cause relationships to fail. through their behaviors, their attitudes, the things they do, the things they refuse to do, their actions and all of that. So relationships don't just fail. It is actually the attitude of the people at the bottom that causes relationships to fail. If you do not have relationship skills like communication, conflict resolution, maturity, emotional intelligence, if you have not built these things in yourself, trust me, your relationship is bound to fail, because the conflicts that come and you're not able to deal with them will tear you and your partner apart. So work on these things. And if you're not able to clearly communicate your needs, your wants in that relationship is still bound to fail. There are some of us who think that we can get things done by yelling. We can communicate our needs by yelling. Whatsoever happens, we are already on top of our emotions. We are shouting, we are screaming, we are doing everything. We're saying everything that we want the wrong way. So work on yourself. And if you do not know how to go about it, I have an upcoming training program that will be running from the month of August. You can type I want it in the comments section if you want to be a part of this coaching program, the intentional dating coaching program, where I will be sitting together with a number of young people, a maximum of 10 of them, for a period of 6 weeks, and we get to talk about things like emotional intelligence. We get to talk about building self-confidence before and in dating. We get to talk on how we can attract the right partner. And of course, you know that before you attract the right partner, you have to first of all define to yourself who the right partner for you is, because my right partner is not your right partner. So if you want to jump on this with us, please comment in the comment section, I want to be a part, and I would reach out to you on the details on how you can be a part of this session. And if you've watched this video up until this point, please like this video, share with a friend, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that we can continue growing and doing a lot more together. It is your girl Senorita, and this is me signing out.